first time using Google Hangouts. My name is Nicholas, and I'm an intern at Open Data Science, and I'm presenting to you information that should be helpful to you at the conference. And as you all know, the conference is on November 14th through 15th. And it will be in San Francisco, and we're excited because this is ODSC West's first conference on the West Coast. So let's begin. So I think first I should give you some background information about Open Data Science as a company, because it's best to have information on hand about the company you're volunteering for. And so here, let me give you a little bit of info. So here's some introductory info. So Open Data Science, basically we're just dedicated to helping people learn about open source languages like Python and tools and analytics that further the use of open source data science in the workplace. Because when applied to business models or just in general, data science is so beneficial. And with our primary focus on data science, we engage individuals around the world with our conferences, and that is more focused on an international level. And then at the local level, with meetups and workshops, which some workshops are also at our conferences, we engage smaller groups of people, and it is they're more community focused, more locally, like local groups. So like anywhere from like 20 to 100 people will attend meetups, whereas conferences have thousands. And we eventually would like to become a nonprofit organization, and we hope to be in the near future, because our goal, the goal of our founder, Seamus McGovern, was not to make a profit off of open source data science, but to extend that knowledge to the greater populace, because it's pretty inaccessible in other ways, because other conferences cost thousands of dollars to attend, whereas ours does not cost nearly that much. So not everybody can afford to attend these conferences that cost thousands of dollars. So ours makes it more accessible to the average person. So here's some detailed info about our conferences. Our conferences bring together really influential data scientists and innovators in the open source and data science fields. And in cities around the world, like soon to be London, San Francisco, Boston, and etc., we hope to encourage the global development and use of open source tools in data science. The conference really serves as a forum where people learn, network, and share ideas. Both attendees and luminaries get to interact with each other. So luminaries, when I say luminaries, I mean like the big people in data science, like the speakers we'll be having at the upcoming conference on November 14th through 15th. And so our meetups and workshops are more, as I said earlier, more they're smaller, and they're more focused to smaller groups, so more local groups and more at the community level as opposed to conferences. And they typically involve, like the conferences, the sharing of knowledge, but unlike the conferences, they're smaller, like I mentioned, and they're organized demonstrations and lectures, and they're held not only by the best people in the world in data science, but also the best people in local communities in data science. With the same goal of, expanding the use of data science and the development of open source tools in the industry. And with meetups, we basically ensure that we can target smaller populations when trying to engage them in data science and open source data tools and analytics, whereas the conferences, like I mentioned earlier, are engaging people at a larger level, a more international scale. Our hackathons that we participate in are philanthropically focused, or they have been in the past, and some of the ones we'll be participating in the future are philanthropically focused as well. So like I mentioned earlier, we would like to become a nonprofit organization eventually, and with hackathons, we hope to, show the world the value and benefits of data science and how it can be applied to solve problems faced by humans. For example, in the past, we participated in various hackathons, one of which was a hackathon against human trafficking and slavery, and then an example of one we'll be participating in the future, the very near future, is a hackathon against slumlords in New York who forced their tenants out of their homes by failing to provide their tenants with much-needed heat during bone-chillingly cold New York winters. And the reasons that these slumlords don't want to provide their tenants with heat is because their apartments are rent controlled, so they can only increase their rent every so often. And by having more people in and out of there, they can increase their rent faster. So ODSC East and ODSC West, what are they? Well, Open Data Science currently has 2 headquarters, one in Boston, and that's ODSC East, and one in San Francisco, and that's ODSC West. The oldest and the original headquarters, ODSC East, focuses on the East Coast and has held conferences in Boston. Additionally, ODSC East has been heavily involved with the annual Boston Data Festival. ODSC West, which is new and is the second headquarters for Open Data Science, focuses on the West Coast, and we will be holding our first conference on November 14th through 15th, as you know, in San Francisco. And in 2016, however, we will expand our global network by holding conferences in the following locations: New York City, London, Tokyo, San Francisco again, and Boston again. And in Boston, we will be participating also in the Boston Data Festival, as we have in years past. A quick review of the info that we just talked about in part 1. So our main goal is implementing the use of open source tools in data science, and we engage community members both internationally and locally. And then newcomers, thought leaders, and influencers. So basically, the extremely experienced data scientists and extremely influential data scientists are able to share their knowledge with people who are just interested or in data science or are newcomers to the field. And they also share their knowledge of open source tools through our conferences, workshops, and meetups that we organize. We bring together highly regarded individuals and community leaders in the computer and data science fields with, as I said earlier, newcomers and basically rookies in the data science community to expand the utilization of open source tools in data science. So part 2. I just want to give you some general information about the events for the conference, the upcoming conference on November 14th through 15th in San Francisco. So here's some more detailed information that focuses on the upcoming conference specifically. So we will be having a data-driven showcase. Well, what's a data-driven showcase? Well, the data-driven showcase will consist of 10 companies giving a 3-minute long what we call lightning talks about how they use data in their business. And each day, Saturday and Sunday, 5 companies will be presenting, so it'll be divvied up, 5 on Saturday and 5 on Sunday for a total of 10. And they'll be presenting at lunch on both Saturday and Sunday. And here, an example of some of the companies that will be participating in the data-driven showcase are Riken, which will be presenting on Saturday, Argo, which will be presenting on Saturday, and Serrano, which will be presenting on Sunday. But there are many more that will be participating, and yeah, it should be exciting. Office hours. What are office hours? Office hours give attendees the chance to meet with 6 of our speakers. It allows them to ask the speakers any questions left unanswered by the speaker's presentations. So if the attendees see the speaker's presentation and they have questions about it that they can't ask because obviously it's a formal presentation, the office hours allow them to ask the speakers those questions. And they will take place on Sunday from 1:30 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. And they will only be taking place on Sunday. I have an incomplete list of the confirmed office hours. There will be more office hours, but those have not been confirmed yet, as far to my knowledge. So one of the speakers, Anthony Goldblum, his office hours will be 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. and etc. The schedule below should, give you information about some of the speakers that will be having office hours. Book signing. What is book signing? Well, book signing is where attendees can purchase books authored by some of our speakers, and the speakers participating in the book signing event are, like all of our speakers, esteemed and influential data scientists, but they specifically have published books relating to data science. And the book signing will take place on Sunday afternoon at the following times. First, from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m., Wes McKinney. 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., John Mount and Nina Zumel. 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m., Cole Nussbaumer Nafik. All of them will be participating in our book signing. So there's an additional event that will be held the day after Sunday's conference, so Monday. It's a post-conference event, and it's a Scikit Learn Code Sprint. On Monday, November 16th, there will be an all-day post-conference Scikit Learn Code Sprint, and at this event, conference attendees will be able to work with Andreas Mueller, and Andreas Mueller is one of Scikit Learn's core developers, and attendees will be able to contribute a new feature or fix, and attendees will be able to attend this post-conference event for free. More information about Andreas Mueller. Well, he is, first of all, I just want to mention that he generously accepted our invitation to do this day code sprint after the conference. So that was really generous of him. And Andreas Mueller is an assistant research engineer at the New York University Center for Data Science. And sorry, I made a typo there. I just want to make a note about the Scikit Learn Code Sprint, though, because this event will be at a different location than the ODSC West conference, because it will be held after the conference on Monday. And it will take place at Galvanize in San Francisco, which is in the Soma district, if you're familiar with San Francisco. And you can find the street address right here. It's 44 Tehama Street in San Francisco. And yeah, it should be pretty interesting to have a hands-on workshop with one of our speakers. So here's the conference schedule for talks. On Saturday, you can see the list of the 14 talks that we'll be having and the keynote speakers. On Sunday, we'll be having 22 talks, and they're listed to the right on this slide. On this slide, you can see our conference schedule for workshops. On Saturday, there's going to be 6 workshops, and they're listed in the left-hand column. And on Sunday, there's going to be 8 workshops, and they are listed in the right-hand column. Our workshops, like our keynotes, will be directed by, again, very influential and important data scientists or CEOs of data-driven companies. So here's our conference schedule for special events. And special events, they supplement the keynotes and workshops held at the conference. And they focus more on networking with businesses and other individuals in data science. So I'm sure that you guys received my email or a few weeks ago talking about the various groups that we'll be divvying the volunteers up into. And so I'm sure Job Lounge sounds familiar to you. And so basically the special events, you should be familiar with them already. And if you're not, you can just write, and if you have any questions about it, you can just write in the Q&A section of this Hangout, and I will try to answer them. And if I can't, I will forward it to Anna. So now is our Q&A section of this presentation. So basically, if you have any questions, you're welcome to spend the remainder of our meeting, or even after if you come and view this presentation after, because it is recorded. And you can ask them through chat by typing them. And I might be unable to answer some of your questions. And in the event that I am unable to answer some of your questions, I will relay them to Anna, and she will be sending out a mass email that should answer all of the questions I was unable to answer when she returns from vacation. And I am finished with this presentation now. I appreciate you all bearing with me in spite of our technical difficulties. And yeah, feel free to ask questions. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all at the conference.
Hi guys, it's Dimitri talking. There is a problem with Q&A, technical problem doing Q&A on Google. So please post your questions on Slack. Thank you.